And I'll take,
I was recording this too, so we can look back at that. Okay, so yeah, here is first option. Shoulder set, chin tuck, refining neck shoulder posture. So I'm working my left side of my neck. So I'm taking my right hand up and over, fingertips on the outside of the head here. So everything is forward and I'm resisting my head. Keeping the chin tuck, the head will want to sneak forward to the left. Once I feel contraction, left side of my neck, ease off to like a level 1, level 2. And it's a guiding of the head to the right. I'm resisting the head to the left. Relax, but still stay somewhat connected as you come back up to center. So do you want to do a screenshot here?
no, move. So, yeah, I got you. Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
I saw your head sort of go off on an angle a little bit, your face.
Yeah.
That's okay?
I was doing that. I'm glad you saw that because this is my awkward side. This is my more challenging side. So my pathway isn't so open.
Okay.
So I'm sometimes changing my eyesight to get myself in the pattern and pathway that that's my goal, my ideal. But to do that, I have to kind of jimmy around a little bit and play. It's really good to do this one in front of a mirror, like
yeah, I'm doing it right here. Yeah.
And like here, I'll do the other side so you can see, and I'll try to do it as best I can. You can maybe see the difference. So my head is going to now resist into my fingertips. So that side.
Totally different. Yeah, it's different. Slightly still, but yeah.
Yeah. So that's what's.
Let me try this.
Use your upper abdominals, your TA and diaphragm to support your rib cage. That's going to help a ton. I can already see your pattern, but keep going. I'm just gonna let you do it a couple times first. Yeah.
I see.
All of these things,
God, it's like immediately, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just do a couple to see which one feels more natural. I saw your hand adjustment. That was exactly right. Nope. Lead with your pinky, the right pinky. Let that guide your head over closer to your forehead. Bring your nose to the right. There. Yeah, that was it.
Okay, I do it again on the other side. The nose, that was.
Yep, your nose is going more left. Bring your nose left, other left. There you go.
No, this is my left.
Yeah, your left.
No, I'm moving my upper body. Hold on.
And don't worry, it doesn't need to be perfect. I've been doing this one for years, and it's still a thought process. I have to go slow. I have to think about what I'm feeling. I have to adjust my body so it doesn't dip. I have an idea of something I might try here. Like that. Oh, you can't see me.
I cannot see you.
I'm standing at the wall. I have my right foot all the way against the wall and my arm at my side and my shoulder touching the wall. And then I'm doing this. That way I can't do that.
Right, the wall is, you use the wall as a guide.
Yeah. Yeah, and I never done that before. As I was watching you, it just came to mind.
I will do that. I'll find a.
Yeah. Try a couple here, and then we'll find a wall.
I'm so preoccupied from doing it right.
And eventually we're going to play with it, so right now we're just getting the equation. Bring your nose to the right. So if your head's going right, that's one cue. Just kind of keep the nose going to the right. Yeah.
This is easier on this side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which means,
just when you started talking about this exercise, I started burping.
really.
Yeah.
I love the neck stuff. I love the neck ones. Like doing the neck ones consistently for me has saved me from chronic headaches. It's just been, and from illness, I think too, getting sick. But I mean, my neck was bad. I think I might have fractured one of my vertebrae when I was a kid. And I had a very strong pattern. That was, it felt like, we talk about like dementia, Alzheimer's, migraines, chronic headaches. Part of that problem is lack of blood flow to the brain. And I really honestly believe I had so much blockage in my neck from bad shoulder posture, whatever happened when I was a kid, that I just wasn't getting proper blood flow. And when I opened up these channels, which took time and effort, my headaches have gone away.
I used to have migraines.
Did you?
Yeah, I used to have migraines when I was around 18. And then, of course, they gave me pills and it didn't work. And then I decided what I learned was stop everything in my life. Stop, go to bed, sleep. And I also kind of learned to give it a shape and move it out of my head. And then it came back in my 30s and I had a very, very stressful job. And I had to tell myself, when I feel it coming up, I need to stop, go home, go sleep. And that's difficult when you have a busy job. And I would sleep and I would be fine. And it was like, when I wake up, it was like I was elated. It was such, it's almost euphoric when you stop, when you no longer have a migraine. And I think it's what you said, it's just the blood. And stress will impede the blood flow.
Yes, very true. Very, very true. Well, that's amazing how you managed. That's incredible. Yeah. Okay.
So that's it. So that's the 3. I will sit here and I will try to do it and I will find a wall. I think that the wall will be helpful.
Yeah, I think so too. Do you want to try it once at the wall just so you can get a feel for it?
I need to find let me see. I can do it over there next to the door.
Yeah, door is a good one to do it too. And really because the arm is at your side here. So it's the foot, your feet are like, maybe I can give you a better view here.
Can you see this? No.
Yeah, I can. The hip does not need to touch. It's the arm, it's the foot. So my feet are like hip width apart like this. And so my foot's touching this and the arm is touching, not my hips. And then my shoulder. So your hips are close.
Okay, I see that.
And then
you see my head?
I do. Bring your chin to the right. Yeah, you're definitely tighter on the left side.
Well, it's also because my leg is longer, you know, it still slightly feels longer and it is longer.
The right one?
It's longer.
There you go. That was an open pathway there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Try the other side too. You can face away from me here. I'm going to give you one thing, Meta, here. Your pelvis, I want you to draw it back a little bit. So bring your upper body kind of there. Yep. And then use your abdominals to maintain that stability of that adjustment. Yeah, that's it. Yep.
Yeah, it's the unevenness of my legs that make it impede a little bit, but
Yeah.
but I know I don't want to repeat myself, but I will, but I am burping. So something is happening.
You know, this might be a good one to do both sitting in front of a mirror and standing against a wall, to do both of them, because they are offering something different each time. Good. Okay, so for clamshells, we're going to go down to the floor, laying on your side with a pillow underneath your head. I'm going to go grab a pillow.
Wow. Or you want me to go parallel, right?
Yeah.
Can you see the mat?
Yep, if you can just push it back a little bit.
No?
That's perfect. Yeah, great.
So I'm gonna go with my face. Let me do with my left side first.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so this arm, yep, is just kind of cactus at your side. This arm is situated in front of the chest. Now, feet together, knees together. Now, a couple things I want to point out. So if your hips are like mine rotate, my right hip rotates back. And so it pulls my right knee behind my left. So I need to bring my hip forward on this side. So I'm stacking hip on top of hip. When you look at your knees, ideally they should be in line and your thighs together. Now, when you're doing this, I want you to engage your lower core and pelvic floor and your left butt cheek first. So you turn them on first. Keep squeezing your glute, and that's what you focus on to lift the knee up. So you want to lift it up as high as you can without this happening. Good. Now hold it for at least 2 seconds when you're up. So that second, it's like you go up, you hold 1, and 2, you get a little bit deeper into your butt cheek. And you keep contracting the glute as you bring the leg down to tap. And even just what I didn't realize it, but when I brought my knee down, my right knee was behind my left. So I'm drawing back on the pelvis. So that's the main thing, is you can keep this hand on your hip if you want to.
Yeah, because then I can see.
Yep. You can kind of see, wait that 2 seconds. And you're making this work more than what would happen just to execute the movement, because you're turning on the muscles in your pelvic floor and in your left butt cheek. The combination is really what gets them united to work together once they start to get stronger.
Okay, I'm just shaking. That's
Yes, then you're doing it right. So the thing is when we do these really well, we don't need to do 30, 40, 50 of them. We need to do maybe 3 sets of 5 total. That shaking is a sign that we're in a muscle that needs to be strengthened a little bit, that hasn't been, ignited as fully as it can. So yeah, after about 5, I would rest for about 5 seconds and then repeat the second set. And just the more time you take with this, the pausing, that awareness, like, do I feel it deep within the glute? Can I get a little bit deeper into the muscle? Can I fully engage the muscle versus just at its attachments?
Let me turn around. Let's see how my other leg does it. That's going to be very different.
Nope. You're right. But squeeze your pelvic floor. I hate to say the word squeeze. Engage your pelvic floor and lower abdominals. Dive into the right glute, and I want you to very slowly lift the knee up. Feet are pressed together a little bit. Right to there. Hold it. And then control on the way down. Now, one thing, I don't know if I didn't see this on the first side or I didn't notice it, but when you're doing the lifting, you're on your right foot, your right heel is coming off the left.
That makes sense. It always comes up because it's shorter. And so this is what I see when I look down on my legs. My bottom leg is slightly longer than my top leg. So my knee and my left leg is a little bit further out to my right. I cannot.
I think it's more from your pelvis rotation. But I see what you're saying. Yeah. Now tap your heels together here. Yep. Now keep the heels touching. And then squeeze the glutes and the deep pelvic floor. Keep the heels touching. Yep. There you go. Yep. Remember, this is a retraining, a neuro-myofascial retraining.
Okay, I just shouldn't go too far. That's I think.
I think you're right. Yeah.
At least not now. But you see I come down and my bottom knee is much further. Stretch out.
In your MRI, it shows the right leg, the bones, the femur, the tibia are longer, and that the right leg is anatomically longer. But the way your body patterns presents the left leg, seemingly.
Yeah, and that is what confuses the doctors.
Yeah. But remember with my leg, because my right leg is longer as well, my right tibia is longer than my left tibia. And so the body has to put that extra length somewhere. It has to go somewhere in the human body because you're walking on a flat surface, the ground. And so I think that's where a lot of these patterns will start to come in. So to compensate for the extra length of the bone itself, I hyperextend my right knee and I rotate my pelvis to the right. So that again, the reason my body does that is because I'm trying to look at the horizon. My brain is wanting me to do this. So it has to go somewhere, the physics of matter, which I don't know much about, but I think that's part of what it feels a certain way, or the gait happens a certain way. So when you lie down here, let's over exaggerate. Bring your right pelvis, your right hip forward more so that your right knee is past your left. Bring your knees towards your chest a little bit more, about a half an inch there. Yep. Okay. Now keep that right knee forward, engaging the deep core. Heels stay together. That's going to be a tricky, that's a pattern, repatterning that instinct. That's, yep. Noticing where you feel that in the muscles. Keep contracting the muscles that just activated to lift up, and then keep them as you lower down.
Yeah, it really wants to go back.
I'm gonna have you try one more thing. So you keep the heels together, but let your let's see here. Let your toes come up.
Okay. So when I walk, I should try to keep my hip slightly forward, my right hip.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Also, what I'm doing when I do my mindful walking is that I slightly move my foot more to the right. So I'm almost, so that's what that is.
Yeah. Yep.
No, it's just very stubborn.
Yeah, do that. Yeah. Good adjustment. Yeah. Huh. So we're turning on not necessarily a muscle, but a part of the muscle. We're just asking it to get fully involved and do its job to execute this motion. And those little adjustments you just made to achieve that were spot on. That was great.
I can figure this out. It doesn't hurt, you know, I'm not exercising this injured muscle. It doesn't hurt. So I can do. But I have to be extraordinarily mindful with it.
Yeah, well, I can send you this video too, so you can look back at our conversation while you're doing it. But and remember what we said in the beginning of the session. So somewhat of a goal is strengthening the right side and fascia stretching the left side. So theoretically, let's put that to test with what our homework is here. It would be doing a little extra strengthening of this side, the right glute in clamshell, and a little extra fascia stretching of the left side of your neck. And that's just a theory, but something that we could try.
Okay, I have to experiment with that. When did I say, oh, I did say the left side, I was burping, right? Yeah, because I wrote that down. When I work my left side, I'm burping. So, and I just started burping on this side. So you're right. It's the opposite. It's right here and left.
Yeah.
In my neck.
Yeah. Definitely. That was really good. That was when you were doing this side, did you feel the glutes working? Did you feel?
I feel the glutes working. What I will do is I also will check the record that they gave me about my, because they measured my legs, right? I know exactly it's 1.98 centimeters difference.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's the tibia or if it's the lower leg.
I think I have it written down. Let me just see if I can quickly find it, because I did write it down. Yeah. Here, I did. Okay, so right femur is longer by 1.5 centimeters. The right tibia is longer by about a half a centimeter, which means the entire right side, your right leg, is 2 centimeters longer than your left leg.
Yeah.
But that's what's interesting about patterns in our body, because how your patterns play out due to that length is completely unique to you, and someone else could also have a right leg that's 2 centimeters longer and have totally different patterns too.
But you know, I wonder if my scoliosis is a result of my right leg, longer leg, not the other way around. I
would think that's very possible, and I think that's the case for me too, because I'm developing spinal rotations and spirals, and I have a right leg that's longer than my left. Yeah, like I said, it has to go somewhere. So I didn't have scoliosis or didn't get diagnosed with it as a child, but yeah. But
I mean, I was diagnosed almost 2 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. So when we're born, when we grow, like it's not easy to see with a naked eye, a 1, 2, 3 centimeter, maybe 3 more. So difference in a child, because our soft tissues are soft and elasticy and bouncy and hydrated, and we can do all the things. And it's as we continue to move through life, our tissues naturally get more dehydrated and less lubricated. And we change our patterns because we have to drive cars and sit at desks and stuff like that. And so I think that's when some of these patterns start to just settle in to the body, and then eventually pain or injury.
Yeah, it's cumulative. So, because I have been thinking from the perspective, well, I've got scoliosis because I have, I've had injuries in my spine, and I've fallen off the horses a lot of times, and
right.
But even maybe if I hadn't had that, I still may have developed this.
Yeah, maybe, probably, maybe not, who knows, but
Who knows? But it's literally 180-degree different perspective. But now so how can I, when I walk, how can I use this extra length to not longer limp? I shouldn't limp because it's longer. But my hip and my hip, of course, has been displaced. But it's not that much anymore.
yeah, much better. Exactly how you're sitting right now, change your legs, straighten your left leg, and then put the right one out to the side.
Oh.
Yeah, just curious. Yeah. Okay, so don't force it. Don't force it. Kind of keep it bent part way, however much you can bend it right now, and let the knee fall to the side. Just that. Okay. Now just take your right pelvis. You're here, and just bring it forward. I tend to do this a lot of myself. Even sitting here, you can see. If I'm sitting here, I'm rotated. When I go like this, boy, it feels awkward and weird, right? And so I do this in bed when I'm sleeping. I notice, huh? Sorry.
Yeah, this is what I feel when I walk. So now actually my right leg is stretched further than my left.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can see now I go back and then my foot comes back.
Yep.
Well, so I have to do this. Okay, and you know what? I relaxed a little bit into it.
Hmm. I can see that.
And that takes the pressure off this muscle.
Does it?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, for years I walked with a heel lift in my left foot, my left shoe,
Yeah.
to elevate, to catch up my left leg to my right. And I asked a lot of different people their opinion. I'm like, how could I live with a heel lift forever to keep my pelvis level? Like, should I have to live with this forever? That means I can't ever wear flip flops. I can't ever wear high heels, you know, like, but I also believe that being barefoot more often than not is really, really good for our bodies. And so I felt very limited by wearing a heel lift, but I did it for years in my tennis shoes when I worked at the hospital. I did it. And I still don't have the exact decision I've made. I go back and forth. Sometimes I think wearing it sometimes might be good to level out the pelvis as I'm walking, so my body doesn't get always used to the patterns of me walking without it. But just variety, the idea of variety. But I also think on the same token is that the more healthy my fascial system is, and the more I'm able to maintain healthier fascia throughout the course of my entire life, then my body and my bones and all the structures should be able to live more comfortably within its asymmetries. Because we're never ever going to be symmetrical. And so if the fascia is healthy, it's elasticy, it's bouncy. And just as when we're a child, we can live with these asymmetries much more easily in our bodies. So if our fascia is healthy, then going without a heel lift for a period of time should be okay. Or putting it in should be okay. But those are just kind of going back to the question you asked a little bit before. That are just some of my thoughts just from my own experience with also leg length discrepancy and patterning of the body.
But it is, here's the thing, I have a doctor friend and I had this long conversation about this. And she is a dermatologist, but she also had holistic medical education. So, but I had the same discussion with her, and she says, but your left leg is shorter. Maybe you should put a heel lift in it. I said, no, the doctor said it, and my limp got worse. My limp got worse. So within 24 hours, I chucked it out. I didn't, and it was, my limp was worse, and I got more unbalanced. So, and she says, well, maybe you should get a new hip. I said, the hell I shouldn't. That's, because they would do just the opposite what should be done. And but this is the answer. It is the turning in of the hip, of the pelvis. In my case, to the left. I can slightly, and I see my foot moving.
And I work a lot, I often talk a little bit about one of my other clients that I work with. She has a similar gait pattern, and this is what we do in our gait training is we work on the repatterning of the pelvic rotation for the compensation of length in that right side to come forward. I mean, everything changes. The length of the like even in my back, if I do this.
You know what else it does for me? It releases the pressure on one of my vertebrae here. Because that sometimes pinches.
Right.
So now when I do this, I feel, the pressure coming off.
You're changing the tensile properties of the muscles and fascia in your spine. Now, the one thing I will say is so I used to have an overextended spasmed left QL for many, many years. And it comes and goes, but for a very abbreviated period of time. And it's when I'm in kind of old habits or high stress. With those adjustments, if you're walking and you're thinking about this all day, every day, you're going to be sore because it's not a normal pattern. It's going to take months, years to soften that pattern in your body. But other things might come up. So for me, for about 8 months, I'm out of the pain cycle now. I was in right lumbar discomfort. And I truly believe it's because when I was sleeping at night, I was trying to correct my rotation in my pelvis. So let's say let's say I'm sleeping on my right. Okay, so this is, if I'm on my right, this is a pattern I used to love. And I'm feeding into my right rib cage or right pelvic rotation. I'm rotating. So I would force myself to come into clamshell, and even still here, my left knee would be falling over. So I'm still in a right pelvic rotation. So in bed for months, I would take my left knee, and I would make sure it's behind my right knee. So I'm forcing myself out of my right pelvic rotation. When I started repatterning that in bed and at night, and I would do a different thing on the left side, I started having right low back pain, discomfort. And I knew, because I did the same thing with my neck when I was sleeping. I changed my neck pattern because of my headaches. For about 8 months, I lived with right low back pain. And I don't anymore. And I feel this freedom in my body now in a way that I didn't before I changed my sleep pattern or while I was changing it. It took all of this time to get to the other side of it. So I just want to share that with you, because when we're changing a big pattern, it can cause sometimes more things to happen, to come up. So just move forward with caution with it. Don't overdo it too much too fast.
No. But you have no idea how many times I've burped. it's like, yeah, the body says, yeah, listen to her.
You know, in a lot of my educations, because I've tested these things out myself, and are they the answer? Maybe, maybe not, but part of it, you know, it's worth the discussion. I have my client just came in, but I'm going to film our homework. So I'll film our clamshell with our cues and the lateral neck. So I'll send that to you later today.
And then what's today? It's Friday. How about, I like the 10 days in between because it really allows me to observe myself. So maybe a week from Tuesday.
So the 7th, Tuesday the 7th. Could you do 9 a.m. my time, which is 7 yours?
I've been up since 3 o'clock this morning, so 7 o'clock is late for me.
I know, I figured. Okay, I got it sent. That was head your way. Okay. Wait, I just messed it up. Okay, there we go. All right, so I'll see you then.
Always something new. It's always another discussion.